Hello guys, welcome to X-Plane 11. We are in the public release of Vulkan, and many of you wanted me to fly to London City because let's face it, that is the ultimate test in terms of performance. Now, just to let you know, I'm actually trying something different as well. I've got my LOD setting in 3J FPS. If you're wondering what anything that I mention in this video in terms of add-ons, I'm going to link in the description below. But 3J FPS is very useful actually in sort of monitoring and changing your performance levels. And at the moment I've got that set to maximum LOD, and what that means is objects are right to the horizon and it looks absolutely spectacular here in X-Plane 11 in VR. And at the moment we're getting about 40 frames per second, which is half the refresh rate of the Rift S, which is exceptional frame rate and it's really smooth. But even so, I'm going to now change that excuse me, to 27 frames per second, because that means it gives my computer a bit more leeway to be able to create a very smooth experience. Again, I'll link that in the description below. That's the OVR plugin. We're in the TBM. It's a very foggy, well, not so much foggy, it's a little bit hazy day here in the UK. It's quite early in the morning and it's going to be another hot one. It's sort of mid-September at the time it's recording. So as we've now established really that X-Plane VR Vulkan is better than 2D monitor mode Microsoft Flight Simulator, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll link that in the description below as well. I'm in a mood to link everything in the description below. You know, yeah, check that out. But yeah, it's just, this is the best. It really is. At the moment, I think things are going to change again very quickly once VR is released in the new Microsoft Flight Sim, but let's just deal with that when it comes. Now, at the moment, we're running default clouds, which look crap. There's no getting away from that, really, but that's just the way it is. I've got Ultra Weather XP, the brand new release, and I haven't had a chance yet to try it out. But I'm a bit dubious because the frame rate with Ultra Weather is pretty horrendous. It's one thing I hate about the Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft. The headphone sort of simulation is far too quiet. And straight into the cloud we go. Goodness me. Right, I'm just going to set up, actually, I should have done this before we took off, but never mind. I'm going to put in our heading, EGLC, and click go. I really love, I know I've said this a few times now, but I love the VR implementation in X-Plane. I think it's perfect. Oh, my trim wheel wasn't enabled. Now it is. It really is. Some of you guys, I've noticed, like using a mouse as well, or prefer using a mouse over a controller, which is interesting actually, because I really like using the controller. I much prefer it. It feels more natural. It feels very tactile and quite realistic. So I know you're holding a controller in the end of the day, but it just feels right. I also like how Aerofly sort of has a hand and you can kind of brush the switches with a hand. That's very cool as well. So it'd be interesting to see what the new Microsoft Flight Sim does. So yeah, a little bit cloudy in places, but this will be a good test simply because all of the LOD settings I've got set to maximum. So, you know, we really are very, very high settings. And in fact, talking of settings, I'll put them in the right hand corner now. That's what I'm running at the moment. As you can see, not completely high, but come on, we're in VR. You know, you're not going to have them completely to the right, but that's basically everything pretty much maxed out. I probably could get away with the reflection detail up even higher than that, but I think I'm quite happy with the... I don't think you have much of a gain in visual quality versus the loss you get having that set to maximum. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to see much in this flight actually, to be honest guys. This is, as I say, live weather and it's a little bit hazy in the UK today, but I'll join you a bit further down the road when hopefully we can get to see the ground a little bit. But if not, I'll see you near London City. So as we get closer to London and it's getting a bit clearer, can you see now, guys, what I mean about the LOD factor? I have got all of the objects, including cars, you can see, all the way to the horizon. And that's actually something you can't even do in the new Microsoft Flight Sim. It's quite incredible to see such detail with great frame rate, because I've got my settings locked to 27 frames per second in the Rift S. It creates a fantastic sort of representation of the world. And we're very low here. It's actually quite nice being this low, because you can see all the beauty that is the Orbeck True Earth region. But look, even when I zoom in, I mean, you can't tell any difference in there's nothing popping in and out, because all of my objects are completely maxed out. And it's not making any difference to the performance thanks to Vulkan. That's really fantastic, and definitely worth a test. And as we head closer to London, this is going to be the huge, big test here, because, as I say, London, I've got Orbeck's London City, as well as the sort of landmarks and all the other good stuff. So there's no hiding away from this performance test, particularly as I'm in the TBM as well, which I fly pretty much on a daily basis, because it's just the best general aviation aircraft ever made. Oh, look at all this detail here, it's mental. And of course, with the high LOD factor, you can see cars right up to the horizon, or as far as your eye could naturally see, rather than popping into view right below you, which I really like. Right, so now we're heading into London. We're getting I think a little bit of a frame rate drop. We're now at 26. It's starting to struggle to maintain 27 frames per second. So in that instance, guys, all you need to do is click the auto button on the OVR plugin. And now we're going to basically try and find 20 frames per second, which means that we are sort of 1/4 of the refresh rate of the Rift S. And what that means is everything outside again is really smooth. This is what I love about the Rift S, guys, and it's why I still have one, particularly because of X-Plane. I think it's really, really nice, because now I'm looking outside and it's really smooth, and I'm at 20 frames per second. And now we're in London, so that's what we're going to get. I think we're going to get between 20 and 27 frames per second, and I can adjust this depending on what I see outside the window. And remember, guys, this is maximum LOD. I would never dream before running this at such high settings in VR. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but the London skyline looks amazing, and you can see that like a mist layer. I can see the London Dome, the industrial sort of areas there, and of course the sort of financial district, and sort of the Shard, the Tower Bridge. Everything I can see even from this far out, and there's just buildings absolutely everywhere, and I can get away with it in the Rift S. I couldn't get away with this so much in the Reverb. And there it is, London City Airport, looking mighty fine. Ortho has been really crisp, by the way, the whole way here, which is fantastic. Right, so what we need to do is, I'm just looking at the wind here actually. Looks like we're going to do the stunning approach and head from sort of the west of the city, which makes it even more of an interesting test, because we'll have to go right over the city, which is kind of what I was hoping, really. You know, I love how this aircraft feels really heavy on the controls when you are going pretty quick. It's just those little details that make this aircraft an absolute masterpiece, really. Okay, landing light can come on. I don't know why our nav light's off, but it's on now. Gloss over that. 20 frames per second, bang on, and beautiful detail. And I know 20 frames per second doesn't sound like a lot, but you can really get away with it in the Rift S with the OVR plugin. This, you know, might as well be 45 frames per second. Feels the same, thanks to the Oculus ASW technique, which is the projection technique, which is far superior than anything Steam VR has come up with so far. Right, inertial separator coming on, and this is going to be one hell of an approach. I've got the OVR plug-in right in my view there, so you can see that the frame rate is not budging. It's not moving off that 28 frames per second mark. And I can't believe the detail I've got here. That's just ridiculous. And I can hear aircraft as well. It's got Traffic Global running, which is the Just Flight AI traffic plugin. I'll link that in the description below as well. Oh, look at this. I'm not really doing the approach properly. I don't really care. Let's just have a quick look around London City. Sod it. That's the inertial separator coming on. It'd be rude not to. I don't mind getting in trouble with the FAA for you guys, or the CAA, or whatever it is in the UK. So there we have it. London City looking absolutely glorious in VR, maximum LOD, maximum settings, and it's smooth. Really, really smooth. And the reverb, it feels juddery because we wouldn't have a motion projection running. And it's exactly why I love the Rift S so much. And by the way, I'm at the moment running a super sampling of 2.0, which makes the Rift S super sharp actually, because I'm upscaling to crazy levels really. In fact, actually I'm technically upscaling past 4K. The only thing is you do get screen door effect, of course, but in the Rift S it's not that bad. Anyway, it's not as bad as the old CV1 days, but look at the ortho there. Absolutely as crisp as you like. This really is the ultimate test. Wowzers. Love the approach into here, it's amazing. Just a couple of stutters there, but considering what we're doing here, that's not too bad.
Airspeed.
Ooh, little bounce and we are down. Fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. That was pretty much my ultimate test really. Doesn't get any worse than that in terms of areas in X-Plane, and to get away with this with maximum LOD settings as well is pretty incredible. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.